I'm Bob Frohlich with the North Dakota Game and Fish Department, and I'm the Fisheries Development Supervisor. Despite our mild winter that we had and relatively, not much snow, Montana was that way earlier, but they got lucky here in March and they've gotten some really nice snowpack. Right now they're sitting, most of the drainages that feed into the Missouri River and the Yellowstone up there are sitting at like in that 90 to 100%. I think the overall average is at about 102%. So they're going to get a nice little shot again this year, which will really help Sakakawea, maybe not so much Oahe, but definitely Sakakawea. Lake Sakakawea should be really well. We're about 4 to 5 feet lower than what we were last year, but the latest Corps forecast is for the lake to come up about another 6.5 feet by July, and that'll bring it up to 1838. And at that water level, all of the 34 recreation sites will have a usable boat ramp on the lake. So Sakakawea will be really similar to last year, even though the overall height will be a few feet lower. The Missouri River system is, of course, dictated by what they let out of Lake Sakakawea through the Garrison Dam up there, and we've got 13 boat ramps from the dam down to the Grainers area, and all of those should be usable. The flows on the river are going to be in that 20 to 25,000 this summer, which is actually a little higher than last year. So all of the sites down here should be good. And then, excitingly, they added Morton County and Mandan, that one new boat ramp over on the car bodies on the Mandan side. Lake Oahe's a little bit different story. They're not quite as lucky. The waters that feed that come from a lot more plains runoff, and then what comes out of the Garrison Dam. They're currently at 1599, and that's the high right now, so it's supposed to drop about another 4 to 5 feet through the rest of the summer till fall. And what that's going to mean is we're going to slowly lose some of our access from here to the South Dakota line. As those water levels drop, we're probably going to be down to 3 or 4 usable boat ramps come, late summer, fall. Devil's Lake is at about 1449 right now, just a little bit above that, which is almost identical to where it was last year at this time. And last year, if you remember, it came up about a foot and then it dropped back down to 49. So it went up a foot and it's back to where it was. This year, the forecast is really similar, almost identical. They're supposed to come up a little bit to 1450, 52, and then I'm guessing, just through evaporation, it's going to drop back down. We'll probably be sitting right where we are again next winter at this time. But we've got 10 ramps on the lake. One of them at these levels, the Pelican Bay ramp south of Minnewacan, has got about 3.5 feet of water on it. That's the one that we might lose first. The rest of the ramp, the other 9 around the lake, all have anywhere from 5 to 8 feet on the bottom end. So access up there this summer should be almost again identical to what it was last summer and really good. We have about 430 district lakes in the state, and about 320 of those have boat ramps on them. And so probably 2/3, I would guess. We're always working to add a few more here and there. Some of them will never have a boat ramp for a variety of reasons, whether it's public access or just maybe it's a short-term flash-in-the-pan type fishery. But, overall, I think there's pretty good access at most of our fishing waters. The northeast part of the state is in a little bit better shape than the rest of the state. The western third is in an extreme to severe drought right now. And so most of those district lakes out there are, anywhere from 1 to 5 feet lower below full pool. The middle of the state's a little better, and then the northeast, everything's pretty full. We had a review in mid-February, and we approved another 10 or 12 boat ramps. Not all of them are brand new boat ramps. We've got 3 new ones over in that Medina area over there. Ruley Lake, Stink Lake, and we're working on one on J. Nelson. Those would be brand new ramps. But we also do a lot of other stuff. So we've got some ramps that have had existing access, whether it be a metal ramp or a gravel ramp, and we're upgrading those to poured concrete. So we've got one up at Coal Lake by Underwood, and we've got another one over at Big Mallard Marsh by Woodworth. We're doing ramp extensions, all the time too, to extend existing ramps up or down depending on water levels. We've got 3 of those in the works. We've got one down at Gascoigne Lake on Gascoigne. We've got one over on Pipestem Reservoir, and we've got another one on the Red River up by Grand Forks. And then lastly, some ramps that have become very popular the last few years with these wet cycles we're in are these primitive gravel ramps. So we put those in if we don't have an easement and we're working on a section line, or if we're in an area where we're not sure how long the fishery is going to last. It might be a shallow lake that might just be a flash in the pan. And we've got 4 of those in the works right now, 2 down in that Lidgerwood area, 1 on Gooley Slough and 1 on Bissick Lake. And then we've got 1 up at Devil's Lake on Free People's Lake, and then we've got another one over in the northwest on Divide County up on Buckle-Noonan Pond up there. So those would be the 10 or 12 new sites we're going to be working on this summer. So our program, the Fisheries Development Program, basically gets involved in anything that's fishing or boating related, and that can be from the boat ramps, which are they're very popular, they're very visible, and everybody uses them. But anything from docks, piers, fish cleaning stations, vault toilets, roads, parking areas, security lights, pretty much anything you use or see when you go to a lake to fish or recreate. And this year we've got 3 toilets in the works, 1 up at Carpenter Lake in the Turtle Mountains. We've got 1 at Van Hook, another one going in, and 1 at White Earth Bay. We've got 5 fish cleaning stations that we're currently working on. 2 of those would be brand new ones. They would be indoor stations, 1 out at Steele, North Dakota, kind of right off the interstate there, and then 1 over in that Medina area right in town. And then we've got 3 that are existing stations that we're looking to upgrade with those new Barracuda grinders. And we've got 1 up at White Earth Bay, and we've got 2 over on Jamestown Reservoir. In addition to that, we've got 4 new piers that are going to be going in, 1 down at Indian Creek, 1 over at West Napoleon Lake, 1 up at Langdon Pond, and then we're going to be adding a good used one over here at the Cottonwood Pond in the city Bismarck city limits here. And then another fishing pier at Coal Lake near Underwood. We've got a few roads and trails projects, and then of course there's just hundreds and hundreds of maintenance projects. We've got about 4,000 facilities scattered across the state at those 430 district lakes. And with that comes just a ton of maintenance, and the guys are out every day, and I don't know that you could go to a single lake and not find something that needs to be fixed or repaired, so keeps them busy. With a small crew that we've got 4 field people and then 1 office person that deal with the entire state of North Dakota and all those facilities. And we rely very heavily on the local involvement from the clubs and the water boards, and a lot of times even just private landowners out there. And we have since the inception of this program, it's been like that, and it's just very popular. A lot of that stuff wouldn't be out there if we didn't have that local involvement.